like 7:14 a.m. Slept with my sweater on. Man, waking up and being in America in general is just stressful as fucking hell, man. The system is fucked up. Our president is destroying its own fucking country. Food is poison. Nothing is real. Nothing's organic. People are depressed, suffering from mental illness. Nobody is nice, good anymore. The music is poisoning and fucked up. You know, nothing is good coming off of social media and from the music. Like, damn. Like, what the fuck? You are just slowly, basically fucking dying, living in fucking America at this point. Restful as fuck.
Yes, sir. Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in this gospel broadly from the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, this is a clip. Decided to do a video on. It's called The Shadow of Death, America, and it's actually a good, what is it, minute and 30-second clip, minute and 32-second clip. You know, through the scriptures, we can find anything to build and to edify, because that's what edify means, to build. And this guy spoke a mouthful in under 2 minutes. And he broke down the anatomy and the mindset and the mental degradation in America, man. Okay, we're literally dying slow. Okay, like we went into it this weekend. We're basically living to die, or we're dying to live, for real. Because every day you wake up, you know, there's something new on the agenda versus the same thing you're doing, going to work, slaving, working a 9 to 5, whether it be a corporate setting or a blue collar job when you're out there doing physical labor, you know, dealing with people of mental illnesses, then visiting these institutions, these schools, you know, these hospitals, from the food, the water, the poisons in the air, the curriculums they're teaching. It's a death culture. Okay, and we speak on this, and this is why this place is called hell. Okay, the land of our captivity, this is hell. And hell is a condition that's played out on the earth. Okay, contrary to what those wacky-tacky Christians teach. Hell is actually a condition playing out on earth. Okay, for the Israelites, our captivity. Okay, because for the simple fact, this is how the average Jake should feel in the morning when they wake up. At least the men of the Lord do. And even the average Jake that do wake up feeling this way, he believes that this is normal. He believes this is the way of life. No, man. Let's look up the definition of life, because clearly we ain't living it. Life, meaning life. Okay, it says the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continued change preceding death, which is basically evolving, right? Now, we do experience these things, but it's in a more of a degenerative state. Okay, inorganic matter, capacity to growth. Okay, you know, your cells, you get older, your molecular structure changes, reproduction, functional activities, but over the course of time, your organs die out. Okay, what is life in simple words? It says a simple system capable of performing functions such as eating, metabolizing, excreting, breathing, moving, growing, reproducing, and responding to external stimuli. Okay, main purpose of life. One essential purpose to survival, but in the kingdom, it ain't gonna be about us surviving, because we're gonna be pretty much of time itself. Okay, and he's right. Life on this side is of surviving, because everything we do is for our survival, whether it's working a job, taking care of health, working out, exercising, eating properly. You know what I'm saying? Defending yourself is all about survival, because the opposite of to survive is to pretty much die out. Okay. What gives life meaning? And basically, life, you're supposed to enjoy life, man. Okay, the scriptures tell you you're supposed to have joy in life. The Most High created the earth as a paradise, you know, a paradise, man. Not a place of hell and torment. But since we broke the law, statutes, and commandments, and going back to our foremothers, okay, our forefathers, Adam and Eve, okay, which is our foremother, they broke the law, statutes, and commandments, the oral that was given, because back then the law was given orally. Okay, and they went against the Most High, and this is that was the curses playing out on a bigger scale. Basically, Jake went through the curses many-fold times, because when we fell, the whole entire planet Earth was cursed, but even the land of the line of Seth, Adam, Seth, Fraxad, okay, Lud, and the chosen line all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we experiencing these curses again as a whole. Why? Because we broke the commandments. We didn't listen to the Most High. So ultimately, life became this dark, gritty, overexertion type of lifestyle when you're literally working to live. Okay, like the scriptures say, by the sweat of thy brow, you know. So with that being said, everything you do in life is a fucking hassle, man. It's a hassle. It's a struggle. You know, when you building homes and so forth, you go through ups and downs to keep the home up. You working, you may go through this job to go to that job, and then you get bills in the mail. You know, you have a child, then that goes left. It's just a fucked up way, you know. And it says all forms of life share at least one essential purpose, survival. But in the kingdom, we ain't have to worry about surviving because, like I said, we're going to be immortal. Okay, but the Lord created the earth to be enjoyed. Okay, just look at the way that the grass and the trees bloom, the flowers blossom, the oceans, the heavens, man, the stars, the sun, the moon, the animals. These are things we're supposed to enjoy, man. But we don't have joy of these things because, shit, 60% of your life revolves around working. Okay, the other 30% revolves around taking care of bills and shit, and another, what is it? That's not, the other 10% goes into raising family, you know? And you really have no time for yourself to wind down and do anything. So you try to fit everything into this conundrum of life, this boundary of life, and you're overly burnt out. Okay? Basically, but we're not living, man. In a roundabout way. That's why this place is called the shadow of death. But anyway, this is the book of Psalms 23. And I'm going to start at verses 3. It says, He restored my soul and leaded me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, and they comfort me, man, okay? And that's the scriptures. But the land of shadow, the valley of the shadow of death is talking about America. Because to prove that, you go into Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, about the valley of dry bones. And then you do the historical research on the coming of our people on cargo slave ships and the hell that we've caught under Esau, Edom, and the other nations. You can begin to formulate a picture and see how these things manifested themselves over time. But it says, yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. America is considered a valley, okay? And a valley is what they call a lowland. We're literally in a valley, okay? If you go downtown in these major cities, you look at these buildings and so forth, you're literally in a fucking pit. You know, if you understand the dichotomy of what you're involved in, you see? But it says here, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. But thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and thou anointed my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Okay, and that's the point. We have the mercy through this truth, through the law, statutes, and commandments, and through the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We have mercy in hell. Okay, because we know that this place has an expiration date, but nonetheless, Jake was telling the truth, man. You know, when I get up and go to work, man, it's just like you're dealing with unnecessary tension, unnecessarily stress, man. Like the scriptures say, a plague of the mind, give me anything but the plague of the heart, which is the plague of the mind. And most of us are suffering from a plague in the mind, whether it be from some people are bipolar, some people are borderline personality, some people are schizophrenic. And then a lot of us just have acute stress syndrome, man. You know, we're overly stressed out, you know, from what they call trauma. Okay, post-slavery, post-traumatic slavery. You know, even after slavery, we're still feeling the benefits, or we're still feeling the effects of slavery on our nation. And you can see it every single day. Okay, the trauma is on a whole different level from Jake having various health issues. You know, they say that the average man of color need to have a colonoscopy by the time he's 45 years old. And that's no coincidence, okay? That's targeted there, because of, our diets and so forth like that. And basically what happened to us upon birth, they shooting the shit in our parents and so forth, and it affects the child. And I believe that the new digs that they give Jake babies are different from what they give the other nations, man. They shoot us with all types of shit upon birth, to present health problems later on down in life. But Esau, not much so. Okay? So, yeah, man, this is clearly a death culture. And we're waiting to get the hell out of here. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Lord's will. He gets us out of this place soon because, man, hey, he hit the nail on the head. And the brother had the perfect precept, which I was actually going to get. Job 10 and 20, it says, "Are not my days few?" All right, it says, matter of fact, let's start at verses 18. It says, "Wherefore then hast thou brought me forth out of the womb? Oh, that I might have given up the ghost, and no eye had seen me, because the hell he caught." Job is in mental and physical hell, man. And when I say physical, meaning that the pain he experienced in his body from the affliction that the Most High allowed spiritual demon Satan to afflict him with. Got your ass, man. Salaki, I call it killed the gnat. The fucker was biting me. But basically, man, he allowed Satan to afflict Job's flesh, okay? And Job was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Why didn't you just kill me if you're going to allow this to overtake me? And I've done nothing to sin against you, okay? Yahweh Shai was in the fucking hell, man. Dealing with Jake, dealing with the Romans, ultimately being crucified. The mental agony, like the scriptures say, he was a man acquainted with grief, man. Okay, and that goes into mental illnesses, mental plagues, being plagued of the mind. Not that he was schizophrenic or anything like that, but Yahweh Shai suffered from a lot of mental anguish. And that's the reason why he had a whole head full of grays by the time he was crucified at the age of 33. All right, like right now I got allergies and shit. I'm sniffling, just dry ass air. It says, "I should have been as though I had not been, and I should have never carried away or been carried from the womb to the grave." It says, "Are not my days few?" And this is a question, okay? Because the scriptures say that our eyes are nothing but our lives are nothing but a vapor before the Most High, and we are as how okay? Our life is nothing, man. I mean, in this place, you're here and you're gone. It's like a vapor, And I was just thinking about it the other day. How just yesterday we seemed like we was in elementary school, running outside, playing with water guns and shit. Watching our favorite Saturday morning shows, and before you know it, we're full-fledged adults with responsibilities and a lot of debt we can't afford to pay off. And mental illness is sickness. It's a death culture, man. Okay? And it says here, "I should have been carried from the womb to the grave, but are not my days few? Cease then and let me alone, that I may take comfort a little, before I go whence I should not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death." That's America, man. Okay? And through his spirit, whoever Job is in a reincarnation, he experienced this hell too. This is literally the shadow of death. When you have transformers blatantly that haven't got the procedure, but that's walking around like something they're not, and it's blatantly being projected in schools. Okay, on the jobs, they got the pronouns now. When I look through my email database, I'm seeing all these pronouns up there. His, her, him, they, she, it, why, when, where, how, what, if. All this fucking madness. And we are subjected to this, man. And then you call it out. You get called a bigot. You get called hateful. They throw a fucking hate charge on you. Before you know it, you're sitting in somebody's penitentiary. All because a bunch of weirdos can't take constructive criticism. But it says, "A land of darkness as darkness itself." Okay, and darkness represents death. Okay, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness, man. Okay, even the so-called light here is darkness, because the churches, the belief systems, the governments, the places that's supposed to help you, that's counterproductive, man. Okay? So, yeah, man, this is nothing but hell. Like the brother said, the food is poison. I forgot the chemical they put on apples to give it the glossy flavor. But it's basically a chemical that causes cancer. And I love apples, red apples, but now, shit, the apples you get in the supermarket, they putting the chemical on that shit, man. And it's not even good for you. So they say 1 apple a day, keep the doctor away. But shit, you eat an apple, you end up dropping dead because the chemicals in it, man. And is this a life to live? Because the Most High created this earth for the Israelites to enjoy, man. Like Ezra said, he said, "Why don't we have a portion with the heathens?" If you create this world for our sakes, why the fuck are we working 9 to 5s, working till we 65 years old, 40% being taken out of our checks, another 30% by Title 4D, then taxes, then, wicked women, wicked children, wicked niggas, Edomites, man. Jake ringing the wrong doorbells and ultimately getting his head blown off. You know what I'm saying? Acid reflux, gout, digestive issues, constipation issues, muscle spasms, man, pinched nerves. And that's just the minuscule shit. But nonetheless, all these things lead into a life of agony, man. We're not whole. Okay? It's a sick culture. All right? This is the book of Baruch 3. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, O Lord Almighty, power of Israel, the soul in anguish, the troubled spirit cried unto thee. And we are troubled, man. Okay, we're not forsaken, but we're perplexed, man. Okay, yeah, we're beat down, we're chastised, but we're not forsaken. But it seems that way at times, but the Lord is still with us. Just like you got the sun and the moon and the stars that shine by, day and by night. You got the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that's supping with his men. This is the reason why we're continuing to push. Scriptures say, though our outward man perish, our inner man is constantly renewed day by day. You see? But it says, hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy, for thou art merciful and have pity on us, because we have sinned before thee. It says, for thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly. Okay? Utterly. Because like I said, Jake rang on the wrong doorbell and got his fucking head blown off. He's still living, allegedly. And they just decided to find or to charge that Edomite that shot that, what's his name, Ralph Yarl. But they only did that off the account they don't want this city to be ran down. They putting a lot of money into Kansas City, and they can't go with the fact that Jake is gonna tear shit up. They can't afford to spend more money on this place. They already built it. The draft is here. You know what I'm saying? X, Y, and Z. The draft is coming here. They building up downtown area. You got the streetcar and all this other nonsense. They building 3 Light. So the last thing they need is to bring bad publicity to Kansas City. So for publicity's sake, they're gonna arrest that guy and they may charge him with attempted murder. Okay, collateral damage. Esau will off one of his own just to, spare his interest, so to speak. So yeah, he's going to get charged, and I doubt if they let him off, because like I said, they have a lot of interest into Kansas City. NFL draft is here this year, and I believe the Olympics supposed to come here in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if we're gonna see a 26 in Babylon. I pray and hope not. And even so, the CHIP will be here, so likely we won't be attending anyway. But it says, O Lord Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearken unto the voice of their God. It says, for the which caused these plagues cleave unto us, man. Okay. And being in America is nothing but a plague, man. Okay. Gross darkness cover the people. You see? Another precept here. Because this is literally hell, man. Like he went into how we're dying. Literally, we are dying a slow death. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, these bodies, man. These bodies are corruptible. Let me see here. Yep. 1 Corinthians 15:50. It says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. But behold, I show you a mystery. We should not all be asleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, which is the destruction, and the trump shall sound, and the dead should be raised incorruptible, and we should be changed. For this corruption must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruption shall have put on an incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass, saying that it is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Okay, because that's the point. We're dying. Okay, every moment you wake up in this fucking hellhole, you're dying. From the water you drink, from the time you go outside and you drive in a car, you're dying. You get on a plane, you're dying. You walk down the street, you're dying. This is death culture. That's why it says, O death, where's thy sting? O grave, where's thy victory? Because the scriptures go in the Apocrypha that a sure life over men, or a sure expected is that all men die. Okay, that's a sure thing being in the flesh, that you will die. Okay? Not necessarily on this side, because you're going to have some of us that It's not going to taste death, but throughout the years of reincarnation since the beginning of time, we all have lived and died several times over. So that's a sure sentence over man to die. Okay, so if you here today, if you put it to you this way, if you here today, 9 times out of 10, you've died before. Okay, because every baby that's born is of reincarnation. Everybody that's born into the planet Earth, like they say, for every death there's a life. Okay, but see, even then on that aspect, everybody that's born into the world is a form of reincarnation. Every baby that's born right now, that's a form of spirits being regenerated into this world. Okay, that's what it says, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the death of the sin is the law. But thanks to our power, which giveth us victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach," man. Okay, because we are gonna live, but we gotta live out this current system of torture, because this is torture, but we endure it, we bear it. Okay, because Yahweh Shai said we gotta bear our cross. He says, if you pick up your cross and not follow me, you can't be my disciple. Okay, Isaiah 14. And I'm going to start at verses 3. It says, "And it shall come to pass in a day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." Okay, hard bondage. When you go into bondage, it goes into slavery, man. Okay, going to work every day. Literally, they don't give you a chance to catch up. And this society, this system is set up to constantly stress you out, to overload your mind. So the fact that you don't have a chance to think, because they want a society of mindless drones and zombies. They don't want people that's able to put 2 and 2 together, and that's why we're so much of a threat. But see, the average American now, they're so mentally destroyed to the point that even if they did wake up to try to attempt to overthrow this, man, it's a little bit too late now. They've already gotten your mind. They've already gotten you in their system. Okay, you're already in the web, so to speak. You're already paying taxes. To the point they made that shit illegal now to not pay taxes. And if you idiots knew that the IRS was a private-owned business, then you would like, fuck this shit. Like you had Edomites earlier this year and last year calling to boycott the IRS, man. Like the Republicans, they claim they want to abolish the Fed and do away with income tax. But the Biden regime ain't going to allow that to happen, because that's the way they can fund their tyranny. That money is going in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? IRS, and it's going to the war. But nonetheless, technically, they was like, look, if everybody stopped paying taxes, then shit, this place would go down overnight, meaning that everybody would have to stop going to work, and everybody, they don't follow W-2. But of course, you got Jake out there. Well, I need to get my taxes back. I got to pay my rent. Well, because you put faith in this society. You put faith in a dying kingdom. That's the reason why you have no faith. Because honestly, if I was an Edomite, I would be with that shit. You know what I'm saying? If I was an Edomite, I'll just go ahead of the call. I'll just start fucking shit up, for real. But, we're not Edomites, so that's for them. Us, we got the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, which is a beautiful thing. Last precept, Genesis 3, and I'm going to start at verses 17. It says, "And to Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying," which is to prove that was a commandment. It says, "I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Curses the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life," man. Okay? Literally going to work, tilling the earth. Everything is a hassle. Like I said, everything is to some type of exertion. To the point you work until you drop dead, man. Retirement, 72. What? And it says, "And thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. And in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return into the ground." It says, "For it was out was thou taken, for thou art thus shalt thou return," man. Okay? So that's the point. So, yeah, this is life of hell. Okay? But I'm going to end it there, giving out praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a ball. Shalom.